The beauty about the Combi Rig is that it incorporates a supple braid around the hook section, which gives it flexibility, which helps the hook find a hold once in the carp's mouth. The boom section, as I'll show you in a minute, is made from fluorocarbon, which is virtually invisible in water, so the rig is very difficult for the carp to detect and has excellent hooking properties, which is why I use it for a lot of my fishing. The first thing you're going to need to do is tie up a blowback rig, which I showed you how to tie in last month's video, on a section of very supple braid. Then you're going to need to take some fluorocarbon. I generally use sort of 10 or 12 pound breaking strain, but you can experiment depending on the waters you're fishing and the size of the fish you're after. Take the end of your fluorocarbon and double it back on itself to form a loop. And then take the end of your braided rig and pass that through the loop that you've formed. Okay. Now, draw the rig up so that the shrink tubing is touching the end of the fluorocarbon loop, and then pinch that in place, like so. So you've now got the fluorocarbon with the tag end and the braided tag end all out the same side of your fingers and the hook on the other side. Now take the supple braid and whip it around the fluorocarbon and the tag end 7 times. Okay. I've whipped the braid around the fluorocarbon 7 times, and I'm now going to pinch the top whipping and whip the braid back over itself another 4 times. So pinch it in place, let go with your other hand, and whip it back round 4 times. That's 2, 3, 4. Okay. Then to secure the knot in place, all I'm going to do is pass the end of the braid back through the loop in the fluorocarbon. The same one you passed it through at the very start of the sequence. So what you now have is that. Then it's a simple case of moistening the knot and drawing it all down tight. A bit of saliva does the job nicely. Then just butt all the whipping up with your fingernails to make sure it's all nicely compact. And there you have the finished knot. All that's left to do is trim the 2 tag ends off, which you trim extremely close to the knot because it doesn't slip. Hook in my finger. Oh, great. Do the other one as well. So now what you're left with is your blowback presentation on a short, supple, braided link, which is then attached to a fluorocarbon boom. And you can make that boom as long or as short as you like, depending on where you're fishing and your personal preference. I generally like sort of 8 to 9 inch boom. So there you have your rig. Now the beauty about this rig, as well as the ones I highlighted earlier, is that it's ideal for bottom baits, but can also be used for pop-ups. So by taking a small blob of tungsten rig putty and moulding it around the knot you've made between the fluorocarbon and the braid, so you can take time to get the size of the putty and mould it all nicely and whatnot when you tie the rig yourself. So you then have the ideal pop-up rig that will sit off the bottom like that. So whether you want to fish with pop-ups or bottom baits in open water, as I said, not near snags, then this is the rig to use. Give it a go.